Cry the Beloved Country, Chapter 3. The small toy train climbs up on its narrow gauge from the Umzimkulu Valley into the hills. It climbs up to Carisbrook, and when it stops there, you may get out for a moment and look down on the great valley from which you have come. It is not likely the train will leave you, for there are few people here, and everyone will know who you are. And even if it did leave you, it would not much matter, for unless you are a cripple or very old, you could run after it and catch it for yourself. If there is mist here, you will see nothing of the great valley. The mist will swirl about and below you, and the train and the people make a small world of their own. Some people do not like it, and find it cold and gloomy, but others like it, and find in it mystery and fascination, and prelude to adventure, and an intimation of the unknown. The train passes through a world of fancy, and you can look through the misty panes at green shadowy banks of grass and bracken. Here in their season grow the blue agapanthus, the wild watsonia, and the red-hot poker, and now and then it happens that one may glimpse an arum in a dell, and always behind them the dim wall of the wattles, like ghosts in the mist. It is interesting to wait for the train at Carisbrook, while it climbs up out of the great valley. Those who know can tell you with each whistle where it is, at what road, what farm, what river. But though Stephen Khumalo has been there a full hour before he need, he does not listen to these things. This is a long way to go, and a lot of money to pay. And who knows how sick his sister may be, and what money that may cost. And if he has to bring her back, what will that cost too? And Johannesburg is a great city, with so many streets, they say that a man can spend his days going up one and down another, and never the same one twice. One must catch buses too, but not as here, where the only bus that comes is the right bus. For there is a multitude of buses, and only one bus in 10, one bus in 20, baby, is the right bus. If you take the wrong bus, you may travel to quite some other place. And they say it is a danger to cross the street, yet one must needs cross it. For there the wife of Mpanza of Ntachini, who had gone there when Mpanza was dying, saw her son Michael killed in the street. 12 years and moved by excitement, he stepped out in danger, but she was hesitant and stayed at the curb, and under her eyes the great lorry crushed the life out of her son. And the great fear, too, the greatest fear since it was so seldom spoken, where was their son? Why did he not write any more? There's a last whistle, and the train is near at last. The parson turns to his companion. Friend, I thank you for your help. Mfundisi, I was glad to help you. You could not have done it alone. This bag is heavy. The train is nearer. It will soon be in. Mfundisi. My friend? Mfundisi, I have a favor to ask. Ask it then. You know Sebeko? Yes. Well, Sebeko's daughter worked here for the white man, U. Smith, in Ikopo. And when the daughter of U. Smith married, she went to Johannesburg, and Sebeko's daughter went with them to work. The address is here, with the new name of this married woman. But Sebeko has heard no word of his daughter this 10-12 months, and he asks you to inquire. Khumalo took the dirty, thumbed paper and looked at it. Springs, he said. I have heard of the place, but it is not Johannesburg, though they say it is near. Friend, the train is here. I shall do what I can. He put the paper into his wallet, and together they watched the train. As all country trains in South Africa are, it was full of black travelers. On this train, indeed, there were not many others, for the Europeans of this district all have their cars and hardly travel by train any more. Khumalo climbed into the carriage for non-Europeans, already full of the humbler people of his race, some with strange assortments of European garments, some with blankets over their strange assortment, some with blankets over the semi-nudity of their primitive dress, though these were all women. Men traveled no longer in primitive dress. The day was warm, and the smell strong in the carriage, but Khumalo was a humble man, and he did not much care. They saw his clerical collar, and moved up to make room for the Mfundisi. He looked around, hoping there might be someone with whom he could talk, but there was no one who appeared of that class. He turned to the window to say farewell to his friend. Why did Sobeko not come to me himself? He asked. He was afraid, Mfundisi. He is not of our church. Is he not of our people? Can a man in trouble go only to those of his church? I shall tell him, Mfundisi. Kamala's voice rose a little, as does the voice of a child, or indeed of a grown person who wants others to hear. "Tell him that when I am in Johannesburg I shall go to this place at Springs." He tapped the pocket where the paper was safe in his wallet. "Tell him I shall make inquiries about the girl. But tell him I shall be busy. I have many things to do in Johannesburg." He turned away from the window. "It is always so," he said, as if to himself, but in truth to the people. "I thank you for him, Mfundisi." The train whistled and jerked. Kamala was thrown nearly off his feet. It would be safer, more dignified, to take his seat. "Stay well, my friend." "Go well, Mfundisi." He went to his seat, and people looked at him with interest and respect, at the man who went so often to Johannesburg. The train gathered way, to creep along the ridges of the hills, to hang over steep valleys, to pass the bracken and the flowers, to enter the darkness of the wattle plantations, past Stainton, down into Okopo. The journey had begun, and now the fear back again. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the great city where boys were killed crossing the street, the fear of Gertrude's sickness, deep down the fear for his son. Deep down the fear of a man who lives in a world not made for him, whose own world is slipping away, dying, being destroyed beyond any recall. Already the knees are weak of the man who at a moment since had shown his little vanity, told his little lie, before these respectful people. The humble man reached in his pocket for his sacred book and began to read. It was this world alone that was certain.